Just connecting.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Cool. Yeah, it's perfect. You never know with these AirPods sometimes, you know?
I hear you.
Yeah. So, bro, what's going on, man? I'm excited to get to know you, get to meet you. Shout out to Warren for putting us on Kids Takeover.
Oh, fire. Yeah, Warren's the man. Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
this. I was just editing this like little video I'm gonna put out tomorrow on the channel. But otherwise, yeah, not
Sick.
doing much today.
So for the people that don't know you guys on our platform, you want to give like a short intro about what Kids Takeover is all about?
Yeah, so like Kidstakeover is a hip hop media outlet, and it's like focused on showing youth the potential they have to like follow their dreams through the internet. A lot of the content shows like me on my journey to interviewing big artists, and you can find that in like the one-on-one series, which is like the interviews in person. There's the FaceTime interviews, and then I think the cool series on our channel is like behind the scenes. And that's when, like, I show the ups and the downs of the music, all the L's we take, all the W's we take. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Our main content is on YouTube, though.
Right. And before getting into, like, how Kids Takeover all got started, I want to kind of dive into your, like, early interests, like, just starting out. What were you into? Like,
I've been into hip-hop, like, my whole life.
Right. You're still young, too.
Yeah. So I'm 20 right now. I've been into hip hop for like a long time. I think just because like, being around like older brothers, I'm the youngest in the family. So, so they would play like 50 Cent and stuff like that. So I always kind of liked it. But then as I got into like high school, I was like, like I love hip hop,
What were you listening to?
What was I listening to back then? Damn, I mean, it's going to sound basic, but like I did like Drake a lot. This is when he put out like Take Care.
Right.
When Kendrick put out Good Kid, Mad City, that was like the album that really
crazy
for me. And then I mean, like I just got a love for the new generation rap, like 88 Glam out of Toronto. When I heard their first project, I was just like in love with that. So yeah, I mean, music and basketball too. I've been into basketball, which goes hand in hand.
Right. And what kind of sparked the idea of Kids Takeover? What was like that moment where you're like, I want to start interviewing?
I think like, I think when I was in like grade 11, I was just going through a phase in high school where like I was just trying to figure out like, okay, what should I do after university and whatnot. So I started this little podcast, and it was like pretty cringe, to be honest.
Cool.
But it was called Convos with Arshan, and I would do it on SoundCloud. I would just interview like the most random, like no-name people. So, for example, like a real estate agent, or like my social studies teacher. Like I'd interview people like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So the reason I did it is because I was like, if I interview these people, then I can figure out what I want to do. Maybe it might inspire me, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then I just got kind of bored of interviewing like no names, right? So then
you're like, let's take this to another level.
Exactly. Yeah. So then I guess like one day, you know who Smookey Margielaa is from the ASAP Mob?
Yes. Yeah.
So he was coming to my city, and I was like, like this would be perfect if I got an interview with him. So I hit him up along with like 300 other people, right? He was the one to respond, the only one to respond. So we shot that interview. It did well. And then, people like ever since then, I just had like a bit of motivation to keep interviewing people. But I think the cool part is that at the time I was also trying to intern to be a journalist, but since no one like would take me, everyone would decline me. I just figured I got to start it on my own, my own brand.
That's amazing. And did you have a platform already when you interviewed Smookey, or was it just kind of like, let's just shoot this and figure it out after kind of thing?
It was the YouTube channel under my full name, which is kind of whack.
Right.
Just because I guess I watched like Casey Neistat and stuff. I'm like, oh, let me try using my own name.
Right.
Yeah.
And that must have been like an early like start for Smokey's career. Like you kind of got him like at his first, like before he peaked kind of.
Yeah. I think that's the reason he said yes anyways.
Right.
And you just gotta, that's the key. Like you gotta find people at the right times,
That's what I found interesting about your catalog of the people that you've interviewed. Cause you have some legends, like Zaytoven, Murda Beats, and then you got names that I haven't heard of yet, and I find that balance super interesting because you get to be diverse in in that. And then you have NBA players too, which is crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And
I think, yeah, we'll continue.
no, I was going to say, where did the name Kidstakeover, like, I guess at first you went from your own personal name as your channel. What was the switch where you came up with the branding?
The switch was really just at a time when I saw the new generation of rap, like the young artists really
Right.
Right. But it was that mixed with the fact that, you know, I was this young kid and no other like radio station would take me, you know? So I felt like, you know, in my head, I'm like, you don't really got to be like 30 years old and, you know, work at a Hot 97 to be like a journalist, right? So at that moment, I'm like, nah, like I'm a young kid, you know, there's no difference between me and the 30-year-old at Hot 97. So it's about the youth, you know, like the youth are taking
100%.
over.
Man, I want to know, like, so you went from Smookey Margielaa. How did you, I guess that's a good start when you get a name like that. But like, what was the transition after that? How did you get your next name? Talk to me about like kind of the hustle of kind of, you know, DMing and getting the next names on your show.
Yeah, so I think the whole thing is, you know, if you get one person on your show, then you can use that to get the next person. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't jump from like Smokey to Drake, obviously, but you can jump from Smokey to Murda Beats, you know, because Murda Beats makes a lot of beats for Smokey. So when Murda was coming to my town, I hit up his manager. I'm like, yo, I saw that Murda just put out a song with Smokey. I think it would be cool if we did an interview together. You know, this is the work I've done. And for that reason, I guess they said, yeah. So if you just like use each interview to level up slightly each time, like you're going to get somewhere up there with a bigger artist eventually, you know?
It's like a portfolio. You just rack up those names.
Yeah, but it does come with a lot of rejections, by the way. It wasn't just like, I did Smokey, then I hit up Murda. It was like I did Smokey, then I hit up 200 other people who all either ignored me or said no, and then I got Murda, you know? So
you have to take those L's, man. That's what gets you to, you know?
Right.
And how did, because it seems like you started this like pretty, like not a long time ago, right? Like when did you start? When did you launch this?
I launched this in January 2019. So it's been a year and a half, pretty much.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you, bro. What made everything like escalate? Because if you're talking about 1 year, 1 year and a half is not long, man. So like what made you like just consistency?
I think it was definitely but I think a really big part of it, I think there's two things. The first thing is that I really got together with my team to like brand it, you know, like it's called Kidstakeover, and the idea is like, oh, you can do anything you want by using the internet, right? So if you watch any of the videos, the branding is really like internet themed. There's like really cool motion graphics. It's just not just like some YouTube channel that's putting out videos, you know? It looks like it's some like professional company. That is one of the reasons. And then the other reason is that I just show like all of the flaws, you know, I show all the L's. And me personally, when I watch like other YouTubers, I like following their journey and seeing like, okay, he messed up there, but he was willing to say it, you know? He's willing to show like what the down days were like. So I feel like people just got really attracted to hearing stories of like how I met this rapper, how I got rejected by this rapper, you know? And yeah, I'd say that's pretty much like kind of got it going.
And I know you did A3C Festival. That was like a big thing for you, where I think that probably had a big impact on growing your company and contacts.
I think that was really big. That was my favorite video I ever put out on my channel. Yeah, no, that was just cool because again, like I said, you know, showing the flaws and everything. I was just this kid that like nobody knew over there, right? But I had this strategy where at every single panel I would lift my hand up and ask a question, you know? And that was cool because it's like, okay, that got me in front of the eyes of the panelist, but then like every single other person in the room of like 300 people also got to hear my story, you know? So
so you would plug yourself in almost like with the questions?
Yes, I'd plug myself in, but not in like an annoying way. Like I genuinely want a cool question, but I think the cool part is like after that, everyone would like swarm me and be like, yo, like you had the courage to do that, man. That's so fire. Yeah, it's like I always tell people like you can use the internet as much as you want, like, you know, run ads and whatever, but in person, you know, when people hear your story, like they'll get really connected to it and become a fan instantly.
That's amazing, man. And you met Gary there too, right?
Yeah, for like a brief couple minutes, which is kind of crazy. I never told people this, but I actually went to Gary Vee's office in New York a couple months later.
No
Um,
way.
I Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't tell any of my followers this yet, but I went to Gary Vee's office. It was like this huge building in New York, and the moment I like got my chance to meet him, he had like this other huge business meeting, so I had to like wait outside Gary Vee's room for like 30 minutes, all for his people to just be like, yo, he's kind of busy, come next time. So I mean that kind of sucked, but I have no doubt
Shit.
in my mind that I'll do some sort of like collab with Gary
Oh, for
Vee at some
sure.
point.
You
Yeah,
got that Mike Boyd interview too, which a good look too.
yeah, exactly. He's the one who took me to Gary Vee's office, to be honest.
No way. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Matt, I love that you have like those interviews where you do in person and then you got that FaceTime. Like there's just
Mhm.
kind of like a casual. I think what's different about you, bro, is just you make things so organic. Like I saw like one of your interviews, you're literally just like laying in bed and and just asking questions. Like
Right.
is that intentional or is that just kind of like you're just chilling? Like you're just making it comfortable for people.
I think it's definitely intentional. Just because, like,
Right.
when I watch interviews, I honestly don't like it when it's like very produced. Like, oh, you got this big sign over there, you got, whatever. I like seeing things that are just really like homemade. It's just like
100%.
I like seeing academics when he does his streams in his mom's basement or whatever. It's much better to me than everyday struggle. I just like the rawness of it.
Right. Yeah, no, I dig that, man. Like that ASAP Thai one was super good, and even you getting a cause too at like an early stage, that was crazy, man.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a long time ago. Also, with the bed thing, someone just said, "Tell him why you're in bed." The reason I was in bed is because like ASAP, he like messaged me when I woke up. He's like, "Yo, let's do this interview." And when you're
Oh,
an upcoming like interviewer, you don't have the
yeah,
flexibility to be like,
yeah.
"Yo, let's do it in an hour." Like I got a brush and stuff. Like I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's get on." And then I called him. So I didn't
That
really have a
worked out,
choice.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And tell me a bit about your process, like interview process, like how much research goes into it, how much time goes into it for each interview.
I probably do like 3 days in advance of research. Um, I
Right.
don't like to just I don't like to just sit down and like Google things. I like to one I spend one day just listening to their music. So if it's
Mm,
like if I go outside and shoot some hoops, I'll just play their album in the background just so I can get like a genuine vibe off that.
hmm.
And then the next couple of days, I'm on Google, I'm on Reddit. I'm looking at like these little stories and
You're
just seeing
digging.
like what's yeah, just seeing like what stuff would I honestly want to know. Like I could ask them about
Yeah.
their new album for like the whole interview, but that's not really what I'm interested in.
Right. And that's kind of like the
Mhm.
typical thing too. Most people ask too, right? So it's like you kind of just want to kind of stand out and ask your own questions, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like I don't want to be one of many interviews. I'd rather be that one where people remember and be like, "Yo, like, yeah, that's the interview of him that I remember."
Is there anyone that stands out to you? Interviewers that stand out to you?
Interviewers or
And
interviews that I
interviewers. Yeah, sorry. Interviewers.
interview. I mean, obviously, I'm going to say Nodwar just because
For
not
sure.
even
The GOAT.
because he's from Vancouver, but just it's just like a different level of research that he does. But otherwise, who's another interviewer I like? I like I know Adam 22 is like controversial, but I like his interview because of the same thing. It's like really raw and like unfiltered. His show. Probably Adam, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really like It's the Real too. We just got an interview with them like a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, they're just funny guys, man. I like when it's something like you said, like unstructured, kind of just raw, and just you get to know different sides of people. You know what I mean? It's not like the typical
Right.
type of concrete interview. I like when it's just like you get to know different sides of people. People want to see that.
Facts. Yeah, facts.
Yeah. How much time do you spend like listening to new music?
Man, I literally like, and not even because I don't want to, but I can't go an hour without listening to music, to be honest. I feel like music is
Right.
just there, like like in the background, and it's kind of my job, you know, because even like tonight, you know, every day there's a bunch of music that drops, right? And Kidstakeover has to cover it, right? So I have to, like, you know, be in the emails, people sending me press releases like, hey, my artist is putting out this new song. So I feel like every like hour or two I'm listening to it, or, you know, trying to find like what's the next wave or things like that.
Right. And is it like a one-man army for you right now, or do you have a little team going on? Like what's the whole
I think
squad?
so like, yeah, in the beginning it was literally just me, and it was the most exhausting thing like in the world. Like
Because you got to do everything
I'm sure you know how, yeah,
for
you got to
sure.
do everything, right? Beginning it was just I got design help from both of my sound design and just like visual design and branding down to help. And then who else? My homie Sam, who films a lot of our videos. He's actually Nardwar's videographer as well. And then we have like a marketing / like PR intern. Her name's Sapana. We have our editor. His name is Jackie, and he lives in Boston. Who else? Okay. Then we have Ashwin, who like writes a lot of scripts for our videos. And he does the new drops. And then we just recently got a new designer. His name is Money, and he's from my city. So I'd say
Oh
like
man,
what?
that's solid.
Yeah, it's like a six man team or so, I'd say. Yeah.
That's amazing, bro. Congrats. Yeah,
Thank you.
and you seem to have such a supportive community, man. Like, how do you stay engaged with everyone?
I think the way I stay engaged is like a goal I made was I don't want Kidstakeover to be just like a brand without a face. You know, I want there to have a face and make IG stories and be like, hey guys, so what are you thinking? Like, what do you want me to post on the page? What did you think of this video? Like, or whatever. Just like being able to talk to them, even through like IG lives and stuff, right? It's really good for building a community. And one thing that's really helped us is we do this IG live listening session. So
Mm.
basically, like, yeah, people will send in their music, and we'll go on IG live and play 10 songs for free, like free of charge. And I'll just kind of like give my feedback on it. And a lot of fans, people DMing me saying like they really value my opinion. And yeah, it's just made me kind of like a tastemaker in the hip hop scene, you know?
Right. That's cool, man. Yeah, that's super. You must have like a lot of talent through the community, you know, like a lot of up and comers, and you must have like a lot of people that you discover like daily. If I'm not mistaken, you're doing this while being in school.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Honest, I don't like school at the moment, but I give like 80% towards KTO and then like 20% to school. I know one person asked in the comments, it was like, how do you balance running the media outlet and school? And it would really be just like, I don't get like straight A's in school, you know? I just do what I can to get by. Like if I got like a 71%, like I'm not mad at that. So yeah, I guess like, you know, just devoting like more time to KTO is it. And then you gotta stay up like long nights until the assignment's done. It's just, you know.
So what are you studying right now?
I'm studying communications, and before anyone asks me what that even means, I don't know. But I kind of got into it just because remember I told you I wanted to be a journalist, right?
Right.
So I was like, oh, like, okay, communications, like, you know, they teach you how to like communicate with people. But at least my program at my school, I didn't learn one single thing about journalism so far. Yeah, you know, I mean, I guess my plan is like, okay, by the time I'm done my degree, I'll have built up KTO, however big that is, right? So I'll have that on my tool belt and then a job. So I kind of have like those two options really. So I don't ever feel like, oh man, I'm never gonna have work or something, you know? Like
That's it.
I'm pretty confident.
Oh, that's good, man. And even looking at your video, you know, on YouTube about like
Mm.
about school, the one that you dropped recently, like I think that's such a cool. You have such a cool perspective to give, you know, because you're living
Right.
both worlds. You know, you're living in the university world, but you're also, you know, building this media platform that's doing super well and reaching some success. So you're able to talk on both sides. And are you almost done? You have like a couple years left.
You know, I don't know how many years I have left because I take like 2 courses per semester.
Yeah, that's good, man. That you get like that balance, you know, where you could, you know, take the time for yourself and then you know, do the schoolwork when you can. Yeah. Bro, I'm gonna jump into some questions because we're getting a few right now. Oh, yo, off the top, what's one of the most awkward interviews you've had so far?
Oh man. I probably won't say the exact name, but I'll just like mention what it was. There was this one interview, the pretty big record label, you know, and hit me up to interview him, and I just wanted to like establish a good relationship between me and the label. So I was like, sure, you know what, we'll do it. The dude, I'm not gonna say his name, he literally had zero interest in whatsoever. All of his answers were like one worded, and you could just tell by like his body language that he wanted it to end. So it was just so hard to like sit through that and just go through. When I put it up, it didn't even do well like when I put it up. So
what's on your wish list, bro, for like the people like on your top wish list to interview?
Who do I want to interview?
On your top list.
So my goal is to really get into the basketball world. Like, are able to interview both basketball. Yeah. Derrick Rose. I don't know if you know who that is. Derrick Rose.
Of course, bro. Legend.
How hard is it to go into business? We already touched on this before, but it's extremely hard just because like enough sleep. You got to stay up like at 5 a.m. getting things done. And for like my business, you know, it's like I can put something out, like be consistent. It won't be the end of the world, but for school, put something out and the deadline passes, you failed. So it's extremely hard, if answers your question.
What's your thoughts on the hip hop community in Vancouver compared to Toronto?
I feel like everyone asks this. I mean, yeah, it's just like Toronto's more lit at the moment, but I feel like it just takes a lot of time for a hip hop community to grow. You need a bunch of producers that are willing to work with each other. KTO, you know, that get eyes on the city. So I think Vancouver's hip hop scene is pretty small right now.
What do your parents think, bro, so far of your journey?
My parents, pretty hard to convince them that what I'm doing is cool, just because like music and like it's looked down upon, to be honest, in my culture. But like, I think the fact that it's a business, you know, there's like a business aspect to it. They kind of like that. Whereas if I was just a music journalist, you know, they wouldn't be so like fond of it.
Right,
you know?
Right. What does No Diploma mean to you, bro?
To me, what does No Diploma mean to me?
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I mean, it's your brand, right? At the end of the day, but like, I feel like I guess people that the work you do outside of school matters a lot too. You know, which I kind of agree with. I feel like that are just trying to get their degree, but they don't do like any other work. So yeah, and I think it's about to bug out.
Yeah, me too. Okay? Last one, bro. If we can get this in, what's next for Kidstakeover?
What's next is the event, the live streams, content with bigger artists. You'll see interviews with much bigger artists. I'd say that, but the clothes are about to be lit. Like,
dope. So new merch dropping. Sick. Thanks for your time, man, and really appreciate what you're doing for the culture. I think it's super dope, super unique. You have a refreshing taste and outlook on things. Wish you nothing more but success, man. Keep it up, bro, and we'll keep in touch, man. Keep killing it, for real.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate that you stuck through the live. It's hard. Your job's hard.
Yeah, no worries. Much love, brother. Take care. Peace.